Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Terrence Bardui. How are you doing tonight? How are you doing tonight? Let's say showtime at the Apollo. Put that on my WhatsApp so people can tune in. How are you doing tonight? Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is Terrence Bardui. Some people call me some people call me Havis, some people call me Terrence, some people call me Mr. Bardui. And if you're from the 767 YT Kubuli, the Commonwealth of Dominica, tall is her body, and you're from St. Luke's Parish, aka Point Michelle, aka La Pointe, you call me little boy or little boy. Dominica made me, Boston raised me, now the South sustains me. How are you beautiful people doing? Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. I have a great show planned for you. So as people are starting to come in, I'm going to remind some people about the show. Someone asked me what time is the show. Someone asked me when is the show. Someone asked me when can I find the show. So the people who did, I'm going to lock them in right now so they can tune into the show. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. How are you beautiful people doing, man? It's Tuesday. I almost said Wednesday. I must be crazy. It's Tuesday, and every Tuesday it's what? Tuesdays with Terrence. As I set up everything here and seeing who's coming in, so we can give a shout out to see who's coming in, I'm going to type in and say good evening. But just before we do that, though, let's make it live here also on Instagram so people on Instagram can watch too. So they can come in and say hello. Let's put it in. Let's say greetings so they can see it as well. Say greetings Instagram. You can say greetings Instagram so they can join in. And people know what's going on. How are you beautiful people doing? Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence, man. People are starting to come in slowly but surely. Some people are late all the time. Some people are early sometime. Some people, they come at different times. Let me make sure it's on my page, because if it's not, I got to make sure. There it is. Timing is everything. Yes. And let's make sure it's on the business page as well. Let's do that. Let's get people watching, man. We're going to do that. I'm going to have a great time tonight. Let's see. Let's put it on so everybody can participate with the masses. That's right. It's Tuesdays with Terrence. All right. There we go. Hey, showtime at the Apollo. So let's get it in. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing well. Welcome. How are you tonight? Don't be bashful. Lately, people have been coming at different times, and sometimes people don't come in, but I've sent the invitation to some people, and hopefully they'll tune in. All right. So how are you doing tonight? I'm going to go and say on my regular pitch, say welcome to TWT. All right. And it'll pop up. How are you beautiful people doing? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to go actually on my YouTube channel and say hello there as well, so other people can participate there. Live chat. I'm going to say welcome all. All right. So hope everyone's doing well. As we start the show and people slowly come in, I'm going to jam my theme song as people are starting to come in, slowly but surely. Let's do that slowly but surely. It's showtime at the Apollo. That's what we call it for Tuesdays with Terrence. Showtime at the Apollo. Boston raised me with his hustle and grind. City light shining, dreams intertwined. Nah. All right, I'm just getting to get my theme song queued up. I had it queued up before, but sometimes there's always a monkey wrench. You know what I mean? So we'll get it in. We'll get it in. My sister says, okay. So how are you beautiful people doing? How's everybody? Hope everyone's doing well and everyone's taking it one step at a time. One step at a time. I'm trying to take it one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven. Trying to take it one step at a time. So, as I always do, let's cue up our theme song and we will go from there. All right, we'll go from there. Let's get it going. But how's your week going, though, so far? Is it going well? Is it going good? Is it going sweet? Is everything going fine for you? I hope everything is going fine. I'm having a great week. I'll tell you about it in a minute. But let's get our theme song all queued up, and then we will go from there. I had it queued up, but sometimes there's always a monkey wrench. But that's what we try to do. Get it in slowly but surely. Here it is. The Roots of My Rise. Let's start the show. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence.
Dominica made me, that's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray.
Good evening. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. How are you tonight?
Now the South sustained with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From Dominica's beauty to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side.
Good evening, Carmen Joseph. How are you? How are you? Good to see you, man. Can you believe, Carmen, we met this December will be 11 years ago. We met in Dominica on the Bayfront. That's a beautiful story, man. I can't believe it. We met there and we've been going strong since. You know, we have a good relationship. I've prayed for you. You've prayed for me. We've gone through this. We've gone through that. And it's good to see you watching the show tonight, all the way in the Caribbean, in Antigua. Thank you for supporting. You know, I take great pride in everybody who watched the show, but especially the people that I cannot help. And when they watch the show, I get excited about that because it feels like they're just supporting their boy. So that means a lot to me. There's others that I can see who's watching, and there's some I can't see who's watching. So basically, it's all right. You know, it's no big deal. What I try to do is I give a shout out. If you say hello, I will give you a shout out. If you don't say hello, I cannot and will not give you a shout out, you know, because I don't know. I don't know who's watching. So it's one of those things where I try to give a shout out to everybody who comes in and say hello. So Carmen, you are the star of the day today. Saka fet ti fam la Dominique. I'll definitely give you a shout out for that. So welcome. If anybody else is watching, I don't know if you're having your dinner. I just had some of mine. The wonderful Sandy got me some beautiful dinner tonight. So thank you, Sandy, for my dinner. I had like tofu and broccoli with noodles and the soy sauce and cilantro. Oh man, it was off the chain. That belly is getting big, so I want to think. I was taking a nap before the show, and you know, was running around today. You know, I got a business trip for a couple of days that I got to take care of, so I had to run some errands, and you know, talk about that. But we have a great show planned for you tonight. You know, timing is everything. Carmen, as you're watching, I'll use you as an example. Timing in December 2015, timing was everything. Because what are the odds of you were going to Dominica? I was going to Dominica at the time. It was a special time for me and Sandy at the time. And we meet at the Bayfront. Boom, boom, boom. We exchange numbers. We talk. And guess what? 11 years later, man, we greet each other. And you make me those great memes of myself and me and Sandy sometimes. So you do that. So I do want to give you great thanks for that. So I want to know, how are you doing? How are you? You know, you've had some I don't say challenges, but you know, you've had some issues, and I've been praying for you. So I hope you're feeling well and you're feeling good. It's raining out today. It's kind of storming out. And for those of you who don't know, if you don't know that, you are a liar if you're my Facebook friend, because I post it all the time. I say I'm a pluviophile. A pluviophile, I can't even say it right. Pluviophile. A pluviophile is a lover of rain, someone who loves rain. And you know, Carmen, you're watching. You're from Dominica, just like me. Remember when we were kids in the 70s and 60s, you know, and there was rain on the galvanized. You remember that? Remember the galvanized? And you had a and I remember when it was raining, we used to run out in the rain and bathe under the rain. Do children still bathe under the rain? It's like this world is such a different world from when I grew up. Yeah, I've been here going on 50 years now, but the first 12 years of my life was in Dominica, and that shaped me and molded me into the man I am today. Because just like my theme song said, Dominica made me, you know, Boston raised me, you know, the South sustains me. So I was molded under that. And I remember when it was raining, we used to run in the rain and under the gutter. And when the water's full, you under it, and it's coming down like you're taking a shower and running around. And Carmen, I know you're gonna laugh about this. We were running around two knee. Dominicans know what that means. Two knee. If you're Americans and English speaking people know what two knee means. When we were kids, we were running around naked, bathing in the rain, and it was a beautiful time for us. You know, sexuality was not what it is now. We used to go swimming naked. I remember the kids. It was a lot of fun. But now, even with all the foolishness that's going on, and maybe foolishness was going on then back. I wasn't aware of it. But back then, you know, we had a good time. So it's good to hear the rainfall. I hope people are safe out there, because when it's raining like this, driving becomes a little more challenging, and people need to know that they have to be careful on the roads, because when you're on the roads, let me turn this down. When you're on the roads, sorry about that. When you're on the roads, accidents is possible. You got to make sure that you're taking care of what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So be careful out there in the rain. Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Terrence. I'm always excited when I get on the show, and I talk with you guys. We have a great show planned for tonight. I'm going to just talk about some stuff that sometimes I like going back to the basics every now and then, just to keep people on their toes. But just before we do that, let's go look at markets. Let's see let's see how markets were doing today. It was a great day in the market. The Dow Jones was up 385.38. It's been very volatile lately. Up, down, down, up, down. So it closed at 52,224.64. I remember back in the late 90s, I was working at Sun Life of Canada in Boston, Massachusetts. I worked there, I think, 98 to 2002, I think. And it's funny. Actually, I just connected with someone on social media who used to work there together. And they just sent me their information. I'm going to get them on my show pretty soon. But I remember the Dow, when it hit 6,000, it was like a big deal. Oh, the Dow hit 6,000. Can you imagine? 6,000. Now it's over 52,000. So for those of you who are into securities and markets, you've been systematically dollar cost averaging into your investments. I pray that, it does well. But my clients, I'm going to start off with a story in a minute. My clients do not worry about the volatility, because they participate in the gains of the markets. They participate in the gains of the market. When the market's up, they participate in those gains. When it's down, they never lose. So that's really, really important. And let's see, the NASDAQ was up 329.13. That was pretty good, because it was over 26,000 and it's been going down with the volatility. And the S&P, the Standard & Poor's 500, is 66, up 66.92. So it was a great day for markets today. Your 401ks, all the monies you've lost the last few days, you've made it back. So congratulations. So tonight, the show is entitled Timing is Everything. Do you believe that? Do you believe that timing is everything? When you hear timing, what do you think? What do you think about? When you hear timing is everything, actually, timing is everything. Sometimes we take it for granted. We don't realize that things happen for a reason and a season. Things happen for a reason and a season. And you have to believe that, because one of the things that people don't realize is simply this. I was just talking about Carmen. Joseph was watching. Well, the year that we met, we were supposed to meet that year, that time. Because the reason I was in Dominica at the time was we were getting married. It was a destination wedding, but we could have done it here, but it happened there. And timing is always everything. Sometimes God's timing, not sometimes, always God's timing is the best. And, sometimes we can't wait for it. We can't wait for it, because we have all these different idiosyncrasies and reasons why we want it quicker, But timing is everything. I'll give you an example. Literally give you an example. I'm in the process of right now doing a plus sale form. A plus sale form is a form that we use with my agency, American Classic Agency, the company that cares. When we've done business and then we've done more within the confines of that business in a year, we have to report it. And I haven't been doing that for the last 10 years. So I decided I'm going to start doing that. because in my industry, every time I want to raise, I control that. If I want to pay a raise, I don't have to ask nobody. I work harder, I do more, and then I will get a promotion, and that will facilitate through my compensation. So timing is everything. 6 years ago, I was referred to a client, and I they gave me the number. I called them. The referral, the referee, the referrer, the referrer gave me the number, and I called the referee. We talked, and I was looking at the notes the other day, and I realized in my notes that I have all the information that we talked about in 2020. The pandemic had just started. In the spring of 2020, the pandemic started. Remember that? And actually, the referrer gave me the phone number and information of the referee. And then I contacted the referee and we spoke, the other day I was just looking at the information in my phone because I put notes. Actually, my phone, it locks after a second because I have confidential information in there. My phone has a security screen. So if you're sitting next to me, you really can't see what I'm doing. And people think, I have it because I'm being sneaky. No. First of all, why are you looking at my screen in the first place? But, I need to protect, the privacy of my clients. I have a fiduciary responsibility to do that. So anyways, the referee, we talked. It went very well. Good evening, Miss June Bardui Ansel. Good to see you tonight. I love your posts lately. Looking very nice in those posts you've been putting up there. Good job. But anyways, I was looking at the information and I met with an individual and I thought I did a brilliant presentation. That's what I thought. There are some times I know when I stink, and there's some times I know like I hit it on the head. And when we were done, the person actually told me what they had and where, but I never saw it, or we never verified it. So I'm not saying they were lying, nor am I saying that at the time I wasn't more thorough. But I believe them because there was no reason to. Sometimes when I'm talking to people, I can tell a lot from what they're saying. With my experience, I can discern information. It's not all the time, but most of the time I can discern. I can tell if you're full of crap. I can tell if you're wasting my time. I can tell you if you're transparent. And the clients who are really transparent are the ones I can actually really help. But this individual, nothing happened. And we tried to say, well, you know what? I'll keep you in mind and I'll call you and we'll talk. But it never really happened. They followed me on social media. I followed them on social media. And basically, we kept doing this over and over. And 6 years went by. And, I was at a conference. I was at a conference and I was talking to a gentleman and I asked the gentleman, the gentleman asked me, was I from? And I told him where I was from. And they asked me, do you know this certain person? And they described them. I'm like, I know the person very well, not very well, but I know the person. I give them my card and I say, tell that person I said they're a bum. Now, that's not how you do business, right? But I know what I was doing. I was actually joking when I did that. And they took my card and they gave it to the individual. And that weekend, a Tuesday, like today, the referee from 6 years ago, from 2020, called me. Timing is everything, guys. Timing is everything. Most of the times in my industry, there is, we try to, I shouldn't say make people make decisions because you can't make anybody make a decision. You need to inform them, educate them, pontificate to them, and let them process in their mind, and then they'll be able to make an informed decision. I believe you can only make an informed decision when you know your rights and options. So I tell people, do you know what your rights and options are? Can you imagine someone tell you you've got rights and options? When you got rights and options, you feel, empowered. But guess what? After I talked to that person, um, that week, boom, 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 we scheduled an appointment. Boom, 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 boom. You know, God works in mysterious ways, man. That individual had just done some financial work with some stuff, and we had to wait for some of it. You know, I said, well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take care of it right now, and it's coming when the time is up. We did all the paperwork, fill out everything, and then I'll show you how to facilitate the transfer. So we did that, and then we did another one, and then we did another one, and then I was like, wow, look at God, look at God, look at God. You remember that song? And then individual contacted me like another month later, or almost 2 months later, and said, hey, I have some other stuff there too. I said, you didn't tell me about that. And the individual said, I didn't tell you everything I have. Laugh out loud. They didn't say laugh out loud, but it's a great thing. Trust is earned. Trust is earned. Timing is paramount, but trust is earned. So when you earn trust, it may take years to earn that trust, but it could take a second to lose that trust. And you may never get it back. So guess what? Person still works, not retired yet. I showed them what were the options, and they were at a point where they were ready to make some changes. So I educated them on what we could do, how we can help them. I said, you're at the stage in your life where you should not be taking risk. If you want to take risk on current stuff that's minimized. You don't want to take a risk on your nest egg. You need to protect that nest egg because that nest egg can have a crack in it. An egg, you crack an egg and it breaks. So guess what? We did all of that, and I can happily say this individual, almost all of their retirement, probably 99% of their retirement is now under my management. And I'm so proud because timing wasn't right 6 years ago. Timing was not right. I remember when I first started doing this podcast, Tuesdays with Terrence, I used to get frustrated because family and friends wouldn't watch, and they wouldn't watch, and I'm like, wait a minute, you all know me since I was born. We went to school together. We did this, but you know what? I realized, dude, people know you as little boy, Luku boy, Avis, Terrence, Met Lapawol, Mr. Badwell. But the thing about it is that trust had to be earned. There's certain things you can't just give. Now, I could have played devil's advocate and say, hogwash, BS. Because when you started working, you didn't trust that, but you just put your stuff there. But that's not how it works. With time comes growth, and with time comes discernment as well. As you can see, I got my little gray, so I'm a little wiser, right? I shipped it up because I have a conference coming up, so I shipped it up so it's nice and cute. But as you get older, right, and you get wiser, you realize that certain things happen in their time. So now I'm not flustered, bothered, or perturbed. I don't even know what that word means. Perturbed. I like using these words. I'm just kidding. I know what it means. None of those things gets me discombobulated because it's not this time. There is one individual I know. I'm thinking about that person. That person actually lives in the same state as the testimony I just gave you. And for years, they've been telling me they're going to do something. And I've given them illustrations and talked to them about this and that and whatever. But you know what? I don't think it's a trust thing. I just think the timing is not right. I don't think the timing is not right. I was having a conversation with the wonderful Sandy yesterday. We were talking about when people do not prepare for the future, and then a rainy day comes, like today it's raining out. When it rains, you need an umbrella. So basically, when you don't do that and the rainy day comes, we were talking about, you can't blame society, your parents, your job, your coworker, the bank who deny you the loan, the finance company, that this. You didn't prepare. You didn't prepare. When we were little kids, right? We went to kindergarten, right? We went to kindergarten, preschool, kindergarten, first grade. So all those different levels that we attended was to prepare us for the next step. Preschool prepares you for kindergarten. Kindergarten prepares you for first grade. So then you have elementary school, prepares you for middle school in America. Middle school prepares you for high school. High school prepares you for post-secondary educational endeavors, college or trade or whatever it may be. And then after that, all of those things should prepare you for life. But sometimes life is not fair, and life does not give you all the training that you need. Even if you saw your parents cook, some parents didn't really teach their kids how to cook, clean, wash. I mean, like, thank God my mother did that. And some parents did not teach you financial literacy. They did not know how. I was telling Sandy, my dad, to be honest, and I never asked him because it wasn't important to me, because he was a great provider, always had. I don't think I don't even know. I don't even know if my father had a fourth or fifth grade education. But guess what? He was a provider, a solid provider, much better provider than I was from the time I became an adult to now. Because my dad was a saver. He was disciplined. And the example that I just gave you a second ago about that potential client who became my client, that person is the same way. They're very disciplined in savings. Some of us lack that. Now, you may say, but some of you, well, I remember I was somewhere one day and someone said, if they hit the lottery, they'd call this person or that person. And I was sitting right there and I'm like, you wouldn't call me? And the other person that you're going to call has nothing to do with what I do, but it has nothing to do with that. You see, when people trust, how many times I talk to clients and so I got to talk to my kids, or I got to talk to my this and my dad, and I'm like, your kid is a hairdresser. Nothing's wrong with a hairdresser. Your kid's a mechanic, or your kid is a painter, or this or that, or your kid is a this. You know what? But then I realized that that's where the trust lies. So what I'm saying to you is, in case of my dad, he always provided. We always had a home to live in. My father, I remember before he bought a house, if something broke and he called you to fix it, you ain't coming next week or tomorrow. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you're supposed to come right now at 3 o'clock in the morning because he called you. Now, that wasn't copacetic, but that's what the dude was. But the point about it, because his theory was, well, he always paid rent on time. He always paid his bills. He was solid in that. Like me, I may make an arrangement here and there. I may have done this, they have done that, but the guy was solid. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. So don't beat yourself up if your financial literacy was not up to par. There's some people who I know for a fact use my show as stepping stones for them to get information. I don't get mad at them because they use my. If someone calls me and asks me a question, I'll give them my honest opinion. I will. There are some people who trust me explicitly. They don't do business with me, but they trust my advice. Now, I usually tell them, like, if you're not going to do business with me, which is your right, why would you want my advice then? But sometimes, again, the timing is not right. People have to feel so comfortable. And think about it this way. This is what I learned in the 6 years of doing Tuesdays with Terrence, because I've been doing financial services since 1985, a long, long time, right? But this is what I've learned. People are very passionate and personal about what they have. And if they know you, well, they know you for that, in that discipline, not this discipline. But for those who've been watching, you know that's my discipline. You don't see me frying chicken. Excuse me. You don't see me cutting grass. You don't see me painting houses or laying sheetrock, you know, or building stuff. I can't build jack with my hands. If you touch my hands, you'd be like, man, your hands are soft for a dude. You know, I remember one time we went to a funeral, not a funeral, a wedding in New York. You know, it was my brother, his wife at the time, me and my wife at the time, and we went to a funeral. It was my cousin. I just talked to my cousin. He just called me last night or 2 nights ago. He called me and we talked some business. And when I gave the lady my information, it was in Brooklyn, New York. I will never forget. It was in Brooklyn, New York, close to Atlantic Avenue. We stopped in a Rite Aid, or I think the pharmacy was called Rite Aid or something, or it was a supermarket, Pathmark, or I can't remember, or Rite Aid. But we went in there and we bought. This is how long ago it was. You remember when you bought those cameras for the weddings where the film was in the camera? You remember those little Kodak things? We bought some of that, and we bought some gum and some stuff. And I didn't have any my card. I gave the lady cash, and my hand touched her hand, and she jumped. I said, "Are you okay, man? What happened?" She goes, "Oh my gosh!" I go, "What?" She goes, "Your hand is so soft." You know me. Don't give me a compliment because I'm gonna start. My head gets big, right? And I was like, "Oh yeah, I know." Because at the time, obviously, I was a banker. But my point I'm saying to you is that we all have different disciplines, right? And as you have a discipline, you have to use it. I want to say welcome to my friend there, Martha Hillier. Good to see you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Blessings. It was good talking to you yesterday. But anyways, timing is very, very important. Don't discount people because the timing was wrong. The people are not ready sometimes. Trust is earned. When someone has earned your trust, you better protect that trust. Because if you break that trust, you may never get it back. I know there's a specific situation of someone that I was helping, and I broke the trust. And the way the trust was broken, it's not that I compromised anything. I did not. I just pulled back for a minute, but I'm going to tell you a reason. Because at the time when I was talking to that individual, I didn't have all my stuff together, and I pulled back. But I never told the person. And if I did, I really believe that that person would have understood. But I didn't do that. And then I just ghost the person. And then years later, I show back up and I try to make amends. I'm friendly with the person. We talk, we laugh, we smile. I have their number. They have my number. We're friends. But that person will not do business with me again. But that was my fault. Now, the trust that was broken there is not that I did anything to compromise anything. I just pulled back, and that was my fault, my insecurities. So sometimes with what we do is we affect situations by how we act, react, interact, and it's very, very important. Timing is key. So when I get on my show and I talk to people, there's some clients I'm working with right now. They trust me explicitly today. They may have not trust me in the beginning, but they trust me explicitly, and I'll protect that. And so because now they trust me explicitly, I can be more bold and brazen with them. I can be more intentional. I can tell them exactly what I want them to do and how I want them to do it and why they should do it, and feel no way tired or no way bad. I get very strong in my advice with them. And now they'll say, okay, whatever you say, we'll do. That is something you cannot just get. It has to be earned. It takes years. So like I said, when trust is built and earned, it may take years to do it, to get it, but a second can. So I take great pride in helping my clients. So the story that I told you guys about, this client here now, where I have, I think 99.99% of their stuff now for their retirement that I've put in place for them. As a matter of fact, I text them today. One of the checks came in today with one of my carriers. So we were trying to get everything in for them. What I'm saying today, folks, timing is everything. Sometimes in relationships, if you're dating a guy or a girl, the timing, it's supposed to happen organically, right? But timing is good. It might be you're driving down the street and you got the light and you're late and you're mad, man, I should have ran the light or the yellow light. Guess what? When you get down the street, there's an accident. Timing. I've never missed a plane because I was late. Because first of all, if I'm traveling and I'm where I'm at, I'm home. Either I'm driving to the airport myself and parking there, or good evening, the community mediator. Good to see you. Why, I'm so glad you tuned in. You asked me where can you find it, and I sent it to you. That's right. Timing is everything. Good to see you, my friend, all the way in Florida. Good to see you. Childhood friend. What I was saying, if I'm going to the airport, I get there on time. If I'm going on a trip, I ain't missing I ain't. I know ain't is not proper English, but I ain't missing that flight because I'm late. Ask Sandy, she'll tell you. When we travel and Sandy gets mad at me because I'll tell her we leaving today. And like last night around 10 o'clock, I'm packed and I'm ready. You ready? And she's like, you said we were leaving today. She always was a time because I ain't missing the boat, the car, the plane, the nothing. But because I control that. So if someone was going to give me a ride to the airport, you should never lie. But I will lie to you and tell you my flight is at 9 o'clock. So I got to be there at 8. I will tell you my flight is at 5:30 in the morning. So you got to get up at 3 and take me there, or drop me in the airport the night before. I don't care. I ain't missing that plane. Timing is everything. One thing I'm not going to do when I'm traveling is miss the plane. So timing is key. So with my clients, folks, I've built up, I have hundreds of clients. And the point I'm trying to say to you is I may not be the advisor or the financial professional for everyone. And I'm good with that. There's people who call me for advice to pick my brain and they go somewhere and do stuff. I ain't even mad at you. I just want you to do something. What I do want, though, I want the credit. Let me ask you how I want the credit. You can watch this show, support it. I know every Tuesday, there were some people who used to watch this show religiously every Tuesday. Now life has changed for people and people are not on it. It's okay, but for years they watch it. You can like a post, you can comment, you can tell someone about me, you can invite me to speak at your church, at your school, at your job, at your children's daycare for the parents, your community. I've done all of those things. That's how you support me. See, support is not necessarily becoming my client. I know there's some people, I'm thinking of one person in particular who's given me multiple referrals. And none of them have stuck. I haven't written anyone. One of them I was writing, they felt I was too, I'm getting too into their personal business. I'm like, wait a minute. This is financial literacy. When you was getting your mortgage, they ask you how much you earn, what's your credit score, where you live. They give you a driver's license. They want your social security number. They want all that stuff. Listen, I am a licensed financial professional. I have a fiduciary responsibility to protect your stuff. So if you're uncomfortable with that, I'm not the person for you. Of course, if we're going to do business, I want that information. One thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to compromise my licenses for anybody. I can't do that. You see, the way, Eugene, I hope you like how I say I can't do that. Sound like a little British. A glass of water. I can't do that. But Eugene's gonna kill me. She's gonna text me and kill me after the show. But with a beautiful British accent, a beautiful self. But the point I'm saying, when I say I can't do that, what I'm saying here is that, I have to make sure that I control those things. In your life, you may be moving from you may be moving from a crossroad. You have gotten into a crossroad. Timing is important. You can't be in your 60s and not thinking about your retirement. You can't be, when I say your retirement, I don't mean you just stop and put your foot up and watch Bonanza and the Big Valley and General Hospital every day. That's not what I mean. But you can't be in your 50s and you can't be in your 40s and 30s and not thinking. Usually when you're young, the other day I was on the phone. My hand was like on the phone. And then when I done, I moved my hand and I shook it real quick. And my arm started hurting. I'm like, Negro, are you sick? Because when I was young, I could do this, I could do that. I was talking to someone today, and I was still back in the day when I was young and bad. I used to go to parties, be at parties all night, and then go to work. I can't do that today. But I don't go to parties like that. I don't go to parties. I don't go to clubs. I don't do that stuff anymore. But I can't do that. I need rest. So timing in your personal life, in your professional life, in your spiritual life, in your all kind of lives, timing is key. Sometimes God allowed things to happen at different times for us because at the time we may not be able to handle it. Sometimes we're too eager for what he has in store and we might fumble the bag. So timing, he has to build your resistance and your character. So that's why, as I've been doing this for a while, I get clients I couldn't get 6 years ago. And there's some clients I got 6 years ago who will bend over backwards for me to help them. They trust me explicitly. And those people don't even have to watch my show or, give me a like. I know they support me because they're already my clients. And they will hit me up when if life is lifing for them in personal things. I gave you guys an example of a client who, about 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, I can't remember, maybe it was 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years, the credit was really bad. And, they had a good job, but I said, you have a good job and let me show you what you can do. I'm not good at that stuff. I'm not a credit repairer, but they listened to me and they systematically, now their credit is like almost 800, is 797. All three of the bureaus, they're doing very well. I'm not a credit repair person. I got credit issues. That person's probably more disciplined than me in what they did. The point I'm trying to make to you folks, timing is everything. Sometimes you have an accident. Timing is to slow you down, to reflect, to think, so God can bless you. You never know what blessings he has in store, how it may benefit you professionally, personally, financially, psychologically. You never know. You see, I have a tribe. And they support me. I have a tribe and they, some of them, I have this one client, I can't believe they're my client, they weird, but they're awesome. They're very, you might think if you see their life on social media, you think they're crazy, but they're very, it's a social media. Social media is not, listen, it's not real. I can come on here and I can perpetrate and I can this and I can that, but I'm a person. I have feelings. I have situations, whether it's, maybe I'm having a physical breakdown for my body, maybe it's a spiritual breakdown, a mental breakdown, whatever it may be. But the key here is you don't come on, I'm not going to come on social media and if something is really wrong with me. Lots of the times I post stuff and people think something is wrong with me. Actually, my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law post something the other day and I loved it. And I post part of it on social media and people were thinking that I was going, no, I just like when I see or I read something that I like, I post it. I may not post all the content, but I put it on there just because it helped me, it may help someone else. So most of the times in your life, the timing, even to speak to an advisor, the timing. Um, uh, okay, I hear that. Just got a text. Um, Let me just say okay to that text. Yeah, hold on, let me see. Okay, on my show. Yeah, on my show now. But the important thing is timing will actually give you peace of mind sometimes. Timing will align the stars that how your Heavenly Father had it for you financially, psychologically, physically, mentally, spiritually, personally, all the different needs. So tonight, I was going to talk a little bit about the MIB, which is the Medical Information Bureau. I go back to that all the time because a lot of you have information in your Medical Information Bureau, your MIB, that you need to get rid of. But I talked about timing mostly tonight because I felt the Spirit moved me to talk that way. Now, you might say, this is a financial show. It is a financial show. But the timing of when you're ready for me to help you, I don't dictate that. All I got to do is continue educating, continue pontificating, continue, like people always want me to give them examples on my show. I'm not doing that. I'm not talking about people's stuff. I can't do that. I could do general stuff. I could, but get on my calendar. Let me show you what I could do for you. I had a great appointment earlier this week with someone I've known for 48 years, over 48 years. We had a great appointment. And we have a follow-up appointment on Monday. And then someone that they know just texted me a little while ago to tell me that they're looking forward to our appointment on, I think it's Thursday, this Thursday or next Thursday. And then another one I met, said we're going to get to meet in August, the first week in August. Another one said to me, you know what, can you give me some time? So we're going to meet in September. Timing is paramount for the things that you do in your life. Where are you? At what crossroads are you in your life right now that timing is telling you to, when I decided to go on my own, I didn't, to be honest, you're gonna laugh at me. The big hypocrite that I am. I never even prayed about it. I just did it. Now that was foolish. All right. It was foolish, and the important thing was that, but I know I should have done that. But now when I make big decisions, I listen. So at that crossroads that you are with the timing, listen to the voice. Now, if you have faith, listen to God's voice. Talk to him. Some people think, oh man, you can talk to him like you talk to a friend. You can talk to him because sometimes we make our own decisions, and then when what you might call it hits the fan, then we start blaming God and everybody else. We did not go through our processes of elimination. How much faith do you have? Do you have the faith the size of a mustard seed? You ever seen a mustard seed? I had a mustard seed here. I can't find it. That thing is tiny. When you have that, folks, you can create wonderful things in your life because of the blessings that he has in store for you. So right now in my professional life, my prayer was, I prayed a prayer of Jabaz to expand my territory. I was talking to one of my colleagues yesterday. I was asking him some question. I have one more promotion that I need to get this quarter or this month or this year. And then after that, the only other promotions I can get is I have to start building teams. And first of all, if you know me very well, I got a low tolerance for foolishness. I'm not a good babysitter. I'm not a daycare, because I want people who are responsible, people who are coachable, people who are trainable, and people who can. But everybody's not like that. Some people, you got to hold their hands when they're crossing the street. Remember your children, hold their hands when your parents used to hold your hands. Some people, you don't need to hold their hands. You can just give a pat on the back. Some people, so what I'm saying is timing is everything. So I'm going to put a plug in. I'm going to put a plug in. It's in my little business card right here. You see, You know, American Classic Agency has been around for over 30 years. And we are, if you take all the advisors, you put our years of experience, we have thousands of years of experience. And basically, I want to build this thing. I asked God to extend my territory, so I'm trying to build. And there's some people, I told you I was talking to someone that I knew for 48 years, over 48 years. I want to try to recruit that individual as well because I think they'll be great at what I do. But everybody, it ain't for everybody. And I ain't telling anybody, you don't have to quit your job either. The reason I don't have any other job, and that's all I do, because I love this. I eat this, I sleep it. Sometimes I'm up in the middle of the night thinking about how I'm going to do this or do that. I don't get on the computer and do that. I might do it on my phone, but I love helping people. God has given me a gift. Those of you who know me, I like to parlay. My siblings call me Met Lapawal, the king of talk. I talk loud and I love to talk. I love to argue too. But the key here is now I get paid to talk. I get paid handsomely to talk and tell people what they should do, what they should do. I can't make them do anything. So I do talk to people at churches and people at different places and clients in there. I talk to people older than me, younger than me, my age, men, women, straight, gay, don't matter what you are. My job is to educate, inform, pontificate, so I can eradicate your debt. I can have you protect your income and create a legacy for your family. Your legacy is not just money. So if you see, some people don't have money. I was talking to someone this week and they were telling me about what they have to do. I said, well, we can start there and you can pass that to all your kids. So that's what I do. I get pride in that, folks. Oh, good evening. Chaplain Latonya Jackson. Oh my gosh. Welcome on Tuesdays with Terrence. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Tuesdays with Terrence. Folks, timing is key. Are you at a crossroads in your life? I sound like a pastor now. This is Elder Terrence Pardue talking right now, aka financial professional. Are you at a crossroads? You know, listen to the voice. Listen to the voice of God. Let him guide you slowly. Sometimes you have to get away from the noise, the monotony. Spend quiet time in your car. Sometimes turn off the radio. Something Sandy does. She says when she drives her car, she turns off the radio so she can hear the cars running. I don't do that. When I'm in my car, I'm listening to ESPN, Mad Dog Sports, reggae, gospel, calypso. But sometimes you have to turn down the noise, guys. You got to turn it down. You want to change something in your life? You have to take a chance on something. Something that, listen, if you don't trust something or you don't believe in something, don't do it. But if this, I told you all earlier tonight that trust is earned. And when you have that trust, it may take years to develop and a second to compromise. But when you have that trust and you believe, you have that faith the size of a mustard seed, you can accomplish anything. Folks, I was talking to one of my clients yesterday. They may be watching, they may not be watching because they always tell me, hey, you're talking about me. But the key is this. This client told me back in the day, they said, recently, a few years back, he said, man, I thought it was a scam, what you were talking about, but they still trust me though. They're going with me 10 years strong. I love this client and they know I love them. They know I love them. So what I'm saying to you tonight, as we come to an end of the show, it's 7:58. Folks, I don't care what you're going through. Personal problems, family problems, financial problems, spiritual problems. Stop. Listen. The timing has to be right. If you don't trust something, don't go there. But there's people, God put people in your life at different times, sometimes for a season, sometimes for a reason. So like I told you guys a little while ago, I have one more promotion to get at work. and then I have to start building teams. So I'm gonna get the promotion this year. I'll get it. I'm not gonna make anything stop me. But what I gotta listen to God's voice. So now I want to make sure I help people. I don't like giving fish. I like to teach people how to fish. And what we do is here at American Classic Agency, in partnership with Bardui Financial Services, is teach people how to move from this to there. And I can help you get there, but you got to trust me. If you don't trust me, it's okay. It's not time yet. The show is called Tuesdays with Terrence. My name is H. Terrence Bardui. Some people call me H. Some people call me Havis. Some people call me Terrence. Some people call me Mr. Bardui, even from the 767 Whitey Cooley, the Commonwealth of Dominica. Tall is her body. You call me little boy, even from St. Luke's Parish, aka Point Michelle, aka La Pointe. You call me Luca Boy.
Battery, medium.
Dominica made me. Boston raised me. Now the South sustains me. And I love what I do. Thank you for tuning in today. I went off script a little bit, but timing is everything. I did not talk about the MIB. Maybe next week I'll do that. But again, we will do that. So tonight, as we close and we go our different ways, there were some people, let me see, give some shout outs on Instagram. I don't see anybody on Instagram, but some people are watching on YouTube. Some people are watching on Facebook. I want to thank Chaplain Tony Jackson for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. I know there's other things you got to do, but you tuned in. The community mediator, my childhood friend, Udine, you text me today. You say, where can I watch? And you watch tonight. Martha Hillier, thank you for tuning in today. You are the best. You know that already. I've told you that over and over. I want to say my big sister, Miss June Bardui Ansem, I love you. Thank you for all you do for me. Shiloh SD Church Petersburg was watching as well. Carmen Joseph, my friend from Dominica, I met 11 years ago. We're going strong. Continue. And everybody else who watched. Some of you did not say hello. It's okay. You don't have to say hello. When you say hello, I acknowledge you and I make you know that it was a pleasure that you tuned in. And Carmen says, thank you for tuning in. She sent me a personal note. So guys, don't let anybody, nobody steal your joy. Here's my theme song as I kick it up for the night. Hasta la vista, babies. Maybe I'll play the guitar. Ow! Yes.
Dominica made me. That's where it all began. Island breeze, coconut trees, the heart of my plan. From the hills and the smiles to the songs of the sea, that island spirit molded the person I'd be. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. On those snowy streets, learn to stand tall, navigating life, every rise, every fall. From the commons to the brownstones, I made my claim. With every lesson learned, I embraced my name. Boston raised me with its hustle and grind. City lights shining, dreams intertwined. In the heart of this town, I found my way. A licensed financial pro, ready for the fray. Now the South sustains me with its warm embrace, a community of strength and love in every space. From the bayous to the beaches, I found my place. In this journey of finance, I've learned to chase grace. Dominica made me, Boston raised me high. The South sustains my soul as I reach for the sky. With every sunrise, I'm thankful and free. A licensed financial pro, just being me. So here's to the roots that shaped who I am. From Dominica's beauty to Boston's Grand Slam. In the South I stand strong with purpose and pride. Together with my journey, side by side.
Good night, everybody. Hasta la vista. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, share, like, and share. If you don't, it's okay. Thank you for your time. Good to see you. Carmen, thank you so much for tuning in, and everybody else who tuned in tonight. There's someplace else you could have been, but you chose to be with me. I don't take it for granted. Listen, man, like I said it many times, I have my tribe. There's people who support me. Like I said, you don't have to be my client to support me. You can support me by liking this show, by subscribing to my various channels. Go to my YouTube channel, Bardui Financial Service, subscribe. Go to my business page on Facebook, Bardui Financial Service, and follow me there. You know, you can follow me in Havers Bardui, my page here as well. You can go to LinkedIn, H. Terrence Bardui, Havers Terrence Bardui, like me there. You can go to TikTok, BFS Financial Services, BFS Financial on TikTok. You can go to Instagram, HTB964, HTB964. You can even go to X. I never interact with X much, but you can go to X, HTB964, and follow me there as well. I thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Make it a good night. And remember, timing is everything. Everything happened in God's time. Hasta la vista, babies. I'm out. Peace. One love. Hasta la vista, babies. Boom. I'm out. Boom, 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 boom.